This hour, a private school in Hyderabad has come under scrutiny after the parents of a class 2 Hindu student alleged that their 6-year-old son was asked to learn Islamic prayers as part of his homework, triggering a controversy and demands for an official inquiry. According to the family, the child returned home with the homework diary containing instructions to read the first and second Kalma and Fateh. The parents said that they questioned the school management, arguing that no student should be compelled to participate in religious instructions that is contrary to their faith. The child's aunt, who shared the incident in a video, alleged that similar entries had been made in the diary on an earlier occasion as well before being struck off. In fact, the school initially described the assignment as a mandatory religious practice for all students, but later said that it had written it by mistake. Joining us to take this very important conversation forward is Ms. Rashmi Sawant, human rights activist. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, also joins us as well. Ms. Nirmal Kaur, former DGP of Punjab, is with us on the broadcast. Last but not least, Dr. Santwana Shrikant, social activist, also joins us as well. I appreciate all of you taking out time to take this important conversation forward. And on that note, let me go across to Ms. Nirmal Kaur for her opening statements. Ma'am, we all know the details of the case. These are very impressionable children. They're 6 to 7 years old, and they've been asked to write it in their notebooks that this is what you have to do. This is your homework for the day, to read the Kalma, to read the Surah Fateh. What do you make of it, ma'am?
I think if I'm audible, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can barely hear you. Now, the thing is, this I would say, this is the tip of the iceberg, just a manifestation of that, upheaval that lying underneath, that Ghazwa kind of a thing, that everything has to be done in the Sharia way, in the Islamic way, country has to be Islamized, and the Ghazwa in which the atrocities should finally prove by democracy. But democracy is one vote. If your population is vote, you are and you are doing this. And what is happening is it is the Constitution. Article 28 specifically says that religious instruction cannot be put in schools. And in Christians you have catechism, which are not an aided or anything, but that is only a Christian, and that too after the consent of their parents. And here is being to youngsters with such local minds, 5, 7, 8, 6 years old, they've been asked to write kalmas, whatever is that in aid for. But that's not perhaps the teacher's fault, it is the school's policy. And where does this policy come from? Maybe the professors belong to a certain community and they want to propagate the message of the community. So this is like, there's land jihad, there's love jihad, and now there's the school conversion jihad, and now this, young impression, KG jihad, you can call it. The children right from their KG should be the and the practices, Islam practices. The school is not the purity. If you want to give your children any religious education, do it at home. I mean, if you're a Hindu, carry them, whatever. If you want to raise or agnostics, it is your point of all. So I see it as a standalone incident. It's very sad. And the school has reacted, after all the media action, by suspending or dismissing the teacher. No, this is not right. Well, that is not enough. That may be just the beginning. But they think that we kind of pacify the whole situation under the rule. We have to then opportunity to look at larger picture. In Jharkhand, I see many schools, even government schools, they don't close Sundays. They are having on Fridays. What is this? Sunday is the universal holiday in our country. All the schools should be on Saturday. Even government on Friday, where the population is beyond a certain, this thing is in favor of a certain community. They say we want Friday as a holiday. And the Friday namaz has been such a holy cow, that no office, no institution, that kind of this all pervasive spreading, that is not right.
Okay, all right. Absolutely. Let me get a word from Major Mohammad Ali Shah on the broadcast, sir. I want to understand from you, there is absolutely no problem in studying and reading the Kalma, right? But it really does, boil down to the fact that the parents of these students should have been informed that this is a part of the curriculum if it was so. What do you make of this incident and the
It's not.
way, the timeline and the series of events that have taken place, that the parents have had to come to the the parents have had to come to the school to have protest about a situation like so?
Yeah, Savri, that's a very, very good and a very intelligent question. Thank you for asking that. Firstly, I totally condemn the fact that the teacher had given a homework like to learn and to read the Kalma at home and to Surya Fateh at home. No, I think religion is a very, very personal matter. It is between you and your maker and nobody else. And homework like that, and that is being very, very insensitive to the very fact that I believe there were 25 students in the class, 24 were Muslims, and there was one non-Muslim student. I think that's a very, very insensitive thing about being. You should keep the emotions and the sentiments of every single student in mind, and it is the teacher's job. When I grew up in a boarding school, fine, it was, we had Christian ethos, we had a chapel, we had a church in our school. It's a different story altogether, but yet our teachers knew us better than our own mothers, many of our teachers, in fact. That doesn't mean that our mothers knew us any less, they knew us very well, but the teachers would, that's how they knew us. But if the teacher over here, if she gives an explanation that she wasn't aware or she wasn't conscious of the fact that there was a non-Muslim student over there, I think it's highly criminal. And the very fact that school has terminated her, fine, it is, the school has washed their hands away. They have that, it shows that school is not responsible, that school is condemning that. But it's highly condemnable, reprehensible, and I, again, as a Muslim, I was very angry that, how can you, Thopo, how can you impose religion on anybody or read the Kalma? I know the Karni Mata Aarti by heart. I know the Mata Aarti by heart, and I'm very proud of it. And I know the Gayatri Mantra by heart. I know the Hanuman Chalisa by heart. There's no problem. There's no problem at all. In fact, we are very, very secular people, and in fact, I am very proud to be a Muslim, but I never wear it on my sleeves. I have to keep one thing in mind. I'm an Indian before I'm a Muslim. I went to a madrasa recently and just to have a look, because people talk a lot. I've never been to a madrasa before that. So I went there recently and I was very happy to see the students. When I gave my talk over there, I said Assalamu alaikum or Jai Hind, and the students out there, after that, they became my fans. They became Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind sir. So that's what the students were doing. So I have given talks at
No,
most
that's how I
elite
do.
schools of the country. I
Right.
have given talks to Gurukuls, to Pachalas, and to Madrasa all over. So I totally condemn the action of this lady teacher completely. Asavari.
Right, absolutely. Ms. Samant, your perspectives, because I was just going through some information, and the termination letter that has been sent to a mother teacher. That's a concept in the educational approach, which is for pre-primary to primary classes, where a single teacher acts as a primary educator and caregiver. Do you think if it wasn't for the parents, this whatever was happening in this school, students being asked to recite the Kalma, would that have come to the forefront?
Hi, Savri, and thank you for having a debate on such an important topic. My genuine opinion is that if not for conscious citizens, looking through and raising these issues, this incident wouldn't have come to light, and it wouldn't have been dealt with the way that it has been dealt with this time. And I think the school is at fault because every school has an idea of what syllabus is set, what homework is being given. It's already set. I think that a formal investigation is needed because I was going through the information and no formal FIR has been lodged yet. The school just apologized and fired the teacher who was responsible for the same and washed its hands away from the issue. But I do feel that an FIR has to be lodged. There needs to be a deeper investigation as to see the complicity of the school when it comes to hiring the said person, setting the syllabus, and then for such homework to be given, because I find it very hard to believe that she's a lone actor, because institutions work in the way that there are systems Every school has a system. There is a syllabus. What homework is given is, pre-decided by the teachers, by the management, and then that's given out to the kids. It's not that somebody comes out of their own will or whim and gives away any kind of um, homework. So I definitely do believe that the school should be held responsible. Deeper investigation is needed. And lastly, I do feel that it's very serious. It's not something that we need to brush aside, because we're talking about 6-year-olds here. They are non-consent. They're not consenting adults, but let alone adults, they're not even mature to understand right from wrong. They're so small that they're just figuring out what the world around them is all about. They're just figuring out what is, right and wrong. And for them to be subjected through this kind of religious indoctrination, I think that is wrong on many levels. Of course, religion is a personal choice, and I do believe that we all have to be adults to be making that choice, or born in certain families where our parents do take responsibilities for those choices. Outside of that, I do believe that 6-year-old is too small an age for this kind of a thing to be happening, and we need to take serious cognizance, criminal cognizance of this kind of activity that's happening, because it deeply affects the psychology of little kids who are all about just finding out what the world is about. And I don't think that should happen. And I think there needs to be proper consent when it comes to religious education from the parents, be it the religion they were born into. I do feel that parents need to consent to it, and without that, all of this, it comes under criminal purview and predatory proselytization.
All right. Dr. Shrikant, thank you for being patient with us. I want your perspectives over here. Because as we understand, the child's aunt who had gone to the school to lodge a complaint over there, she has claimed that the school initially described the assignment as a mandatory religious practice. But when things took a turn that was not in their favor, they suddenly were up, their hands were up in the air, and they said that we did not know that something like this was happening, which is why a termination letter was given. Do you think it was just one person, one teacher's fault, or do you think there's a larger nexus operating?
Okay. See, I thank you for having me here. I want to discuss some constitutional provision which is supporting that why it should not happen. So there is a Article 28 in which it is clearly mentioned that school that is recognized and funded by government should not instruct any religious instruction to their students. And similarly, Article 25 also suggests that any person can profess and practice their religion. It cannot be forced. So what I am trying to say, nobody can force to religious activity, religious instruction to other, right? There is a constitutional provision, there is an enforcement agency for why it should not be done. And thirdly, you were saying it is a particular a person's mistake or a organization's mistake. So I think obviously it is an organization mistake, because if organization is strict enough or management is strict enough, so these kind of things cannot be happen.
All right,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ms. Kaur, I want your perspectives over here. Do you think there should be some action that should be taken against the teacher responsible, not in terms of a termination, but in terms of a larger, responsibility, accountability for what they've done?
I think step needs to be taken against the entire ecosystem kind of doing this. Not only teacher and school, the whole ecosystem behind it. And I beg to disagree with the respected panelists who see 7 madrasa, maybe even one elite fluent madrasa. I've been to many madrasas. Madrasa board is a set education board in Bihar. I would like him to go and study deeply. Then he should, I'm sure, as a enlightened person, as an Indian, he should know rather than going to one school, one elite madrasa. I've been to madrasa. And it is called Bukania board. Bukania is, I think, we'll into 10th whole thing. They have this Tania, Bukania, Mohal, which have by government Bihar recognized, and they have all given support. They have initially aided. There's a Mr. the chairman of the board Bihar has the cabinet minister. So I seriously suggest to him, perhaps young enough now over the hill, to sit and put some questions. If he reads I have studied it. I mean, must be PhD in places also. But Bihar Madrasa board and Tajkhand Madrasa board, the originally was, that is what he should study, and he should go to a few madrasas. I mean, real madrasa, not the elite island which is supposed gone by his description. I have not ever seen as such a maybe some good
Okay.
place, like there, maybe do stop madrasa. That is where he's been. But you go the ground reality, the fight. Madrasa children, they can't even sing the national anthem. They कि क्या वो दावतें दी जा रही है. This is the 16 were telling me कि हम तो नहीं थे काफिर, उसको दादी ने.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. There's a little bit of a glitch in your audio. I'll just tell my crew to quickly take care of that. But until then, Ms. Rashmi Sawant, I want to understand from you. The Chief Minister has so far given no statement on what's happened. Is that silence acceptable?
That silence is completely unacceptable, Asavari, and I do believe that it's got a lot to do with vote bank politics. We all know about the, sort of party that's in power in the state of Telangana and the kind of policies they've been pushing for so long. I think it's an entire disservice to the people of Telangana for such a chief minister to be around, especially when it concerns such little children. The chief minister himself posted a picture of his with his grandson, who's about that age, his own grandchild. And for him not to have that similar level of empathy for a child which is his grandkid's age, it's very disturbing. As the administrative head, I do feel that they need to leave behind their political campaigns behind, and as an administrator, they need to be truly secular in upholding the seriousness and the role of the office that they occupy. Unfortunately, that's not happening, and we've seen many governments falter when it comes to such issues, and I think that silence is completely unacceptable, especially since such little kids are involved.
Okay.
It's an issue which is very serious. His silence on the matter is also trying to underplay the seriousness of the issue, and I do believe that a person in power should always ensure that they reinforce the extent of criminality to make sure that the perpetrators don't escape justice. As the aunt of the child, the Hindu child in the class expressed, a lot of action in India unfortunately is only motivated by fear, by compulsion, by the rule of authority. It's not simply because something is wrong that somebody gets punished. So I do believe that statements of people like the chief minister, it plays a big role in ensuring that the perpetrators are punished and that such things don't repeat. When we as society turn a blind eye, crimes get normalized, and that is unfortunately the truth for today.
Okay, all right. Major Shah wants to make a point, so over to you.
I think what Rashmi Sawant spoke, she made a lot of sense, and Dr. Santwana too also made a lot of sense. In fact, I disagree with Mrs. Nirmal Kaur. I understand that she's full of hatred and a lot of venom she's got from inside. I totally get that point, and ma'am, I didn't interrupt you.
Cannot do it.
Ma'am,
No, you cannot in allegation.
Ma'am, I didn't interrupt you
I
when
mean,
you
you
were
cannot summarize it.
Ma'am, I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking. I was very officer-like. I expect you to be civil. And the whole nation is watching you, ma'am. You are making a spectacle of yourself by doing this. Please don't do that. I totally understand where that poison and where the venom comes from and where the hatred comes from. So it's about time also for the Muslim community for reforms. Otherwise, what happens is venom, like what you saw, Mr. Nirmal Kaur spewing venom.
100 years ago, wherever you were anything.
Ma'am, allow me to make my point, please.
No, I always saying that full of shit and venom.
You are full of venom. You are proving my point.
You're
proving my point right in front of the whole world.
Miss Kaur, he let you complete your point. Let him complete his point, please.
Sorry, I refuse to.
We are all entitled to time, ma'am. He has an opinion. Let him speak.
No, you cannot.
He let you speak. Let him make his point, and then we'll come for counter
You are
arguments.
proving my point in front of the whole world. And I can tell you, I understand you have hatred for Muslims. I understand that. I understand that, and I totally get your
That is
venom,
very
your full
arbitrary.
of venom.
Arbitrary.
Ma'am,
When you
please
say
be
an
reasonable.
argument,
Ma'am, please be
when
reasonable.
you
Ma'am,
the
please be
next
reasonable. Ma'am, you
generation
are making
and
us.
you base character, how can you, whoever
Ma'am, you
is
are
such a
making us
gentleman of
spectacle of
self,
yourself.
what, where do
Please
you
talk
have
with some
done
logic at least.
to comment
Ma'am,
on
please
it?
talk with some logic
You
at
are
least.
making sweet statement,
मैम
religious
मैम ये
statement,
राष्ट्रीय शो
disparagement
है,
on foreign
राष्ट्रीय
community.
चैनल पे पूरा देश आपको देख रहा है मैम, बाकी चैनल्स को देखिए
और
हाउ कम
आपको तो
आप
नहीं
I
है
am,
ना,
I am,
in your
I am
आप
going to
country.
make an intervention over here
अनुच्छेद
because it's.
ना,
I
आप
am
जो
going to
मेरे को
make
नहीं
no. I
सुन
am
रहे
going to make an
कि आप इस
intervention
तरीके की
over
बातें
here
में
because it
बीच
is the
में
matter of
कर देते
interest. It is
हैं
about
राष्ट्र
our
चैनल में,
children.
तो इस तरह से क्या होता है?
Oh
What
my
are you?
goodness.
You think by
Meter
doing
Shah,
your
I
I'm
will
going to let you
interrupt you very
complete that
much,
point,
teacher.
ma'am. Give us a moment. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. This is a matter of our children, and this is extremely important. Meter Shah, complete your point, please.
पर मेरे को
मैम जो
वो
आपके अंदर
Ma'am,
जहर
I'll,
उगल
I'll
रहा है
come.
वो दिख
I'll
रहा
come
है.
to you. I'll come to
और
you.
आपकी से मिठाई की है, उसको तो हम देख
I will come to you, ma'am.
देख ही
Let
रहे
him
हैं
finish his
कि किस
point. I
तरह से
will
आप
come to you.
पहले इसको चरित्र टीचर को पूछ रहे हैं, आपके चित्र टीचर, आप तो जेंटलमैन ऑफिसर,
मैम
मैम
आप जो
मैं आपके पास आऊंगी, मैं आपके पास आऊंगी. We're trying to
मैम
have
यू
a
आर
very
प्रूविंग
civil
माय पॉइंट
conversation
राइट
over
बाय
here.
डूइंग दिस,
एक तहजीब भी है,
बाय डूइंग दिस ड्रामेटिक्स यू आर प्रूविंग माय पॉइंट राइट. मैम डोंट यू रियलाइज
I
दैट
am not
आप इतनी मैच्योर हैं मैम, इतनी बुजुर्ग हैं
but
आप.
definitely if you
आप जो
make
मदरसे
general
के
like
खिलाफ
you
बोल
come
रही
from
थी,
other states,
आप
आप
मेरी बात को आप
क्या हालत
क्यों साबित कर रही हैं?
Okay.
Sabri, may I
Meter
go
Shah,
ahead,
complete
please?
your point, please.
Okay, so my point is, what Dr. Santwana said, what Rashmi Sawant said, makes a lot of sense. I totally agree. It's about time also for us to, for the Muslim community to do an introspection and for reforms. It's about time. They are very good schools in Muzaffarnagar. In fact, I would be visiting one school next week by Tyagi Foundation. They are doing excellent work. So they are, so jo badlav hai, the change has to start from here. There's a gentleman, Mr. Kalim Tyagi. In fact, they are doing great work. So they have taken an initiative, a step towards modern education, and these kind of steps should be welcomed, should be, but not what has happened in Hyderabad. No, no chance. In fact, when the teacher was terminated, fine. It is, in fact, more inquiry needs to be done on that. What exactly went on? And I totally condemn the very fact, because I think religion is a very, very personal matter. It's between you and your maker and nobody else. Nobody should, we all are Indians. We should learn to coexist together. The beauty of India is the unity of diversity. You go to Jammu Kashmir, you go to Tamil Nadu, culture is totally different. You go to Gujarat, you go to Mizoram, culture very different. Our Prime Minister has also said, Hindustan ki taakat ye hai, ye 5 ungliyan hain. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, we are all different, but yet this makes one fist. That the strength of our country is our unity. We should not get divided by any hatred, any form. And a small 6-year-old children, they have no idea. They have no idea what they are learning, who is teaching them, what. We should be very extremely careful and very, very keeping in mind. We should be very sensitive to their demand, to children's demand as well. We should teach them how great our country is. We should teach them about unity. We should teach them about how united we stand and divided we fall. We should teach them that the good things about life, about moral science, that, we should teach them about the law of karma, in fact. We should teach them, that is what we should teach them, not
Okay.
hatred.
Okay.
Hatred, the seeds, yes.
Dr. Srikanth has been very patient with us. Dr. Srikanth, I want final thoughts from you, please.
See, I want to discuss about how it can affect the child and society. See, firstly, it affects the psychologically to the child itself. Like it can create the confusion, it can create the fear in the mind of child because they are not in the age who can understand the complexity of religious or forcefully if anything done to them, they will be fearful. Secondly, it can disrupt the societal structure also because forcing something into child and to their family, obviously it will destroy the religious harmony. right? And violation of the parents right also there, because parent thought about their children that they will get the good education, but what they are getting from there, that is religious instructions. It should not happen, right? And deviation from the core education also there, because when you in homework, when you are dictating about some kalma or something, and from any religious, not a particular religion, from any religious, you will dictate something, what child will learn? Where is the core education gone? So it
All right.
can hamper.
Okay. We've taken thoughts from all our guests. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with us. I'm so sorry I'm out of time. We will continue this discussion at a later stage, but for now we slip into a short break. Thanks for watching.